Okay, guys, that was amazing. Let me catch my breath for a second. This is a 2022 KTM 250XC TPI. If you guys have never watched the videos before, I have done the suspension. So I currently have what they call Del Saggio spears in the front, and it's a coil spring conversion. Take my goggles off. I also have the bladder kit in the rear shock and revalves on both ends. High compression head with a TPI. And so when I first got the TPI, now I had a 2019 carbureted version before, and it was quick, but it lacked the bottom end. I did go to a JD jetting kit, and that helped some, but when I got the TPI, it was just so flat everywhere. It was very linear, but it was flat, and I was like pretty disappointed. And so I started doing some research and found that if you went to the TPI, did a couple different things. Number one, they remapped your current ECU or your ECU that you have, but then they also give you an option of 3 different heads. You got a low, medium, and high compression head. And after talking with them, I talked with, I guess I want to say it was Brian, was down at Two Stroke Performance down in California. And I apologize if I got the name wrong because it's been a while. But anyway, he recommended going to the high compression head because of the elevations that I ride. So here it's only about 1,000 feet, but a lot of times I go up and I'll hit, 5,000, 5,100 feet. And that is enough difference to, really lose power. And so it's amazing how much of a difference I can tell here versus when I get up into the elevations. And not only on this bike, but also on my YZ450 that I have too. So anyway, they recommend the high compression head. So the thing I noticed right away is that with the high compression head, it gave it a lot more low end torque, and you're able to carry a taller gear in almost every area. So, if there was situations where I would normally have to shift down into second to pull it back out of the corner, a lot of times I could hit it in third. And just a very subtle stab of the clutch makes a huge difference. But then the other thing that remapping the ECU did was also change the oil. So with the TPI, it's not only fuel injected, but it's oil injected, and here's your oil injector here. So anyway, with that, there was always some I guess thought or concern that maybe it wasn't enough oil. And so when they remapped it, it gives it more oil in the initial startup, so on the lower RPMs, and then it gives it more oil in the upper RPMs when it's revving high. And I could definitely tell a difference, when you look at the exhaust. So TPI straight from the factory, you could run it all day and you wouldn't hardly see any spooge coming out of the muffler at all. And now this is a very similar, maybe not quite as much, but very similar to what it was when I had the carbureted bike. So I definitely can tell it's getting more oil, but man, it runs strong everywhere. Down low, up high. It still revs, it's still got that over rev like my 2019 had with the carburetor. And even the TPI still revved out pretty well, but it just didn't have the power that my 2019 had with the carbureted version. So this has definitely exceeded that on both ends. So I'm extremely happy. Like I said, going to the coil spring conversion, the one thing that you notice right away is you have a lot more front end traction. And I hear that the Air Force have gotten a lot better, but every bike that I've had with the Air Fork, the front end seemed a little vague. And so in the corners I wanted to push a little bit. And as soon as I went to the coil spring conversion, I could tell right away that I had a lot more front end traction. Now, the forks are heavier because, obviously the coil spring is going to be heavier than the air was. But yeah, you don't notice the weight when you're riding. But like I said, you do get a lot more front end traction. So yeah, extremely happy with everything. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send them my way. If you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. I've got videos coming out each week. You'll notice that the name of my channel is Rodney's Northwest Ride and Reviews. And so not only do I ride dirt bikes, I have this, I have a 22 YZ450F,